And that's it on Top Stories. Quite a mixed bag of events. And what are some of your thoughts, on some of these big stories? Kade joins me now for a review of the big stories.
The big story would naturally be the fuel situation and how it is biting hard on Nigeria's livelihood, the pocket and the rest.
And their mental health.
Absolutely.
Might I add.
It's a big one, really. So we're starting off with the debate that spilled over from yesterday's Workers' Day, and it's essentially about a new minimum wage. So we had the NLC president already on Channels Television saying that, well, yes, the wage, the consequential wage adjustment or the living wage for Nigerians should be 615,000, while that wage adjustment, which came just before May the 1st, he described it as mischievous. But let's go into what you're saying about that, particularly the 615,000 naira proposal from Labour. And this first one is from Shoaib on X, and this is what Shoaib has to say. He says, even if it is feasible, that's 615,000 naira, the extraordinary inflation this will cause is alarming. Marketers won't just sit when they know the minimum wage in your bank is 600,000, and says that we always assume more money is a solution to economic difficulty. I'm curious, Shoaib, so what do you think is the solution to this economic difficulty? I think you could do a rejoinder and send it to us, or hashtag CTV Morning Brief, so we can give at least some more flesh to this. But that's what Shoaib thinks, is we can't just keep throwing money at things. And,
our next person reacting is speaking to what should really be the situation. And here's what he says. The gentleman says, we should be concerned, that's it, about bringing the prices of things down. Do they think the more money, the more you solve the issues with ease and this inflation, every other thing would skyrocket? So what this brings to my mind is, would this be an ideal time to invoke the Price Control Act? Are we going to keep running away from the reality that prices of commodities are skyrocketing?
Well, we're meant to be a free
market. So how do we situate it within the context of the free market?
Exactly, and they'll say it's a military relic, price control. That should not happen this time around. But we need to find a good balance. And this goes to what the next user has to say. Chimenyim too says, and this is quite interesting. So this user is looking at the conversation, not from now, but from the end, says that simply they need to pay workers' salary good enough to afford a house before they retire.
One way or the other, workers, Nigerians, have to be protected as far as pricing of commodities is concerned. This one is from former Shaw Boy, who says, by calculations, he's setting the tone for it already, because that's what we want to do today, calculating. By calculations, 65,000 naira cannot pay for feeding, transportation, electricity bills, phone bills, and other miscellaneous. You're just working without any plans to save part of your salary, and that's the reality of the situation. What's that report by that private organization that we spend 70% of our income on food?
There you go. And it's more than half. That's what it's been said. So on the flip side of this is the new minimum wage, which the government promised will take effect from May the 1st. So get this right. A new minimum wage has not been announced. What has been announced is when the implementation will begin. So I don't know how you're receiving that, but let's take a look at this one from Harla 34, because the president, through the VP, said that, it will actually take effect. In fact, the president put out a statement, I should say, on X. So this first user says that pay rise or minimum wage, when did they reach the agreement on the new minimum wage? I get it. Because the latest time I checked, or the last time I checked, the minimum wage tripartite committee is still working, deliberating on this with different stakeholders. As I said, it's not been agreed upon. What is now being agreed upon or being decided for Nigerians is when it will take effect from. But I think more importantly, Nigerians want to know what the figure is. But, half bread, or I don't know if this is even up to half bread in any case, but the sight of the bread
is enough motivation,
I guess,
especially for all of these reactions. Now the next one is from Humble Umpa, who says this will also have some negative effects on the cost of living, as prices of goods will go higher than it is already, I believe, worsening inflation. Let the government have a plan in place to cushion these bad effects in the shortest possible time. So it speaks to responsive government, some form of regulation to what we're experiencing at the moment.
Absolutely. I mean, things need to be done the right way. So let's skip now, shall we, and go to another conversation. It concerns money. It concerns rent, I should say, but in the most unusual places. And that is the fact that 86 rooms where tenants pay 250,000 naira a year was discovered, guess where? Under Lagos Bridge. True story. And they had to demolish them. And it turned out that those people were paying rents reportedly to the Bales. So this first user says that under bridge get landlords and tenants for Lagos. I mean, you can't write these things. You can't just make them up. They are real, and it's happening
in Nigeria.
In Lagos, right here.
In Lagos.
Under the bridge. Well, 250,000 naira.
It also speaks to how we see ourselves as Nigerians and how we treat ourselves as Nigerians. 250,000 naira. This next reaction is from Charles, who says, but someone built and rented them out. Who are that, and who are those, and were they amongst the arrested? So
it's important for the Bales to come out and either refute it or confirm it that, well, we didn't collect it, or yes, maybe we collected it. This next user, Akioko, says the person collecting the money for the rent is the one to be arrested and not the tenant. So it's two ways, really, because you're expected to know that under the bridge is not a
personal property,
and it's not a place to even habit. It's not earmarked for residential or business, really. So, but anyway, that's what you have, particularly with this situation.
Well, and this next one is from Ukwa. Have you taken Ukwa Kayode, or is it Adeyemi that's next?
Yeah, Adeyemi is next.
Adeyemi is next. Adeyemi says the government needs to go after the landlords or so-called individuals collecting rent, 250K from the occupants. There is need to get to the root of the issue, not doing window dressing. This set of people need to be prosecuted. But then again, we must ask ourselves, who are these Nigerians who saw that evidently some people were taking advantage of the situation and building private property on government space? So why do they patronize such people?
Absolutely. So you need to get the right information so you will not find yourself in sticky situations. There's quite a number of things to talk about, but we're starting off our major conversation around this education matter. Is education a scam? Because we just saw the UTM results, and just about a quarter got above 200. 77% got below 200. So what exactly is going on? If education is the bedrock of a society, how well are we building that bedrock? This is a conversation you don't want to miss in just about a few seconds. Are you ready for this? Stay with us.
We'll be right back.